Imagine it's a sweltering 95-degree afternoon in America. The sun is beating down, the humidity is thick, and the ground in your backyard is bone dry. While we are all tucked away inside with the air conditioning on full blast, have you looked at the birds lately? You might see them sitting on a branch with their beaks open, panting just like a dog. They aren't singing as much because they are in survival mode, desperately searching for a single drop of fresh water to cool down. Most people think birds only need our help in the freezing winter, but the scorching American summer can be just as deadly. However, even though it's hot now, we can learn a lot from how birds handle the extreme cold. There is actually an incredible world record involving the tiny wren. In one single nest box, 60 wrens were once found huddled together on a freezing night. They weren't nesting, they were snuggling, using every bit of their tiny body heat to survive until dawn. By the time spring arrives, these birds clear out, making way for the next generation. But that one night of shelter saved 60 lives. Whether it's the heat of summer or the chill of winter, you can make a massive difference to the livelihood of your birds by following a few expert steps. Today, we're going to walk through 4 essential ways to transform your yard into a sanctuary. Starting with the art of the perfect shelter. While many of us think about birdhouses in the spring for nesting, autumn is actually a great time to put them up so birds can use them as roosting sites to shelter from the elements long before the breeding season starts. But you can't just hang a box anywhere. There is a science to it. First, you need a box that is solidly built. When it comes to placement, you must remember a few golden rules. You have to keep the box out of the reach of cats, because cats and nestlings definitely do not go together. Generally, mounting it above head height is the safest bet. Next, consider the wind direction. If the prevailing wind in your area usually comes from the southwest, do not face your birdhouse in that direction, or the wind will blow straight into the hole, making the shelter useless. You can mount these on the side of a shed or a sturdy fence. Don't worry about the noise of a shed door or occasional movement. As long as you are quiet and still, birds will get used to you, and you'll eventually be able to watch them coming and going from your own window. It takes a bit of patience, but you can even get to a point where a robin might come and eat right off your hand. The second way to help is by setting up a reliable feeding station. As natural food supplies diminish, your intervention becomes critical. Birds like robins and blue tits have high metabolisms and absolutely love balls of fat or lard, which provide the essential fuel they need. The classic feeding station is the bird table, but as every gardener knows, we have a major rival, the gray squirrel. They often swoop in and steal the high-energy food before the birds even get a chance. The solution is to use sturdy wire mesh. By surrounding your bird table with mesh, you create a barrier. If you fix 3 sides and use movable clips for the 4th, you can easily open it to refill the food while keeping the squirrels completely locked out. It's a simple but effective way to ensure the birds get the sustenance they need. The third step is to think about your landscaping as a living pantry. Planting specific shrubs provides much-needed shade from the sun and a 24/7 buffet of fruit. One of the best shrubs for this is the beautyberry, or calicarpa. It produces stunning purple berries that look almost artificial, and robins and sparrows absolutely love them. It makes a tallish shrub, so it's perfect for the back of a garden border. Another powerhouse plant is the firethorn, or pyracantha. In the spring, it has beautiful creamy blossoms, but by this time of year, it is loaded with red, orange, or yellow berries. It's also great for hedging or training up the side of a building or a shed. You should never be cross with birds for nicking your berries. That's half the reason why we plant them in the first place. There are so many other options to consider. Cotoneasters have bite-sized berries that offer great sustenance for smaller birds. Roses that produce hips, those bright red fruits, are also loved by birds, especially blackbirds, once they start to go soft. Hawthorns produce deep crimson berries that are wonderful attractant. For shelter, thorny shrubs like berberis provide a double whammy because they produce fruit, while their thorns help repel predators. Holly does the same thing, forming a thicket of thorny leaves for protection while providing berries for food. Trees also play a huge role. Cherries flower early and provide fruit in the summer. The secret with cherries is to try and get to the fruit before the birds do. Then there are crab apples, like the golden hornet. It's a decorative tree that isn't too big for a modest yard. You can even use the fruit yourself for crabapple jelly. One well-known gardener remembers his mom making it and warning him not to touch the muslin bag, or the jelly would grow cloudy. But even if you make some jelly, leave the rest for the birds. As the fruit gets softer, they will truly enjoy it. The final, and perhaps most important piece of the puzzle during a heat wave, is water. Birds get thirsty, just like we do, but they also need fresh water to bathe in. Bathing is essential, because it helps them maintain their feathers. Because they use the water for both drinking and bathing, it gets mucky very quickly, so you need to replace it regularly. You don't need an expensive manufactured bird bath. You can make one for a fraction of the price using a flower pot and a saucer. Simply take a standard pot and run a bead of silicone sealant around the rim of the base. To make sure the saucer sits perfectly central on the pot, the easiest trick is to do it upside down. Flip the pot over and lower it onto the saucer, using the rings on the bottom of the saucer to guide you. Once it's set, turn it right side up and add a few pebbles. These pebbles are for the tiny birds, giving them a safe place to perch and drink without being submerged. Fill it up almost to the rim, and when the birds come to bathe, they'll splash it out anyway. It's a simple job to maintain. Every day, just tip the water out, give the pebbles a quick rinse, and fill it back up. Taking these steps, providing a shaded box, a squirrel-proof feeder, a berry-filled garden, and fresh water, does more than just beautify your yard. It creates a lifeline. At the end of the day, you'll feel really quite chuffed with yourself, knowing you've done your bit for the bird life in your area. If you want to keep improving your garden and learning more tips on how to support nature, don't forget to subscribe. Every week, there are new ways to make your outdoor space a better place for the wildlife that calls it home. Stay cool and happy gardening.